Hey everybody, it's Sandy's free guitar chart videos here, guitar charts videos, and I'm going to do another lesson for you today. I hope you're progressing on some of the techniques that I'm teaching with my guitar charts, and we'll get started. Okay, now last lesson was kind of a short lesson, and I'm not planning to make this a continuation, but I can't rule it out. I don't like to do continuations because people might miss them, thinking they saw the video, oh, I saw this already, and turn it off. When that was only just the beginning, and then I put a new part to round it up to an hour. So here's the latest chart, and this one is unbelievable that I could put this together this morning. And from really, it was just from some techniques and just from a piece of paper here, that I wrote some notes on it yesterday. And of course, no sooner do you write some notes down than you want to get it onto a computer and formalize it. It's almost like you remember something because you wrote it down. That happened to me yesterday. Oh yes, I was watching a movie and I didn't know what Steve Austin said in a line that he did, and I really had no idea. So I went back a little bit on the timeline of the movie and played it again, and then I realized what he said before he said it. And indeed, that's what he had said, and he had kind of garbled the line, the word, not the whole line, but the word. So it's that kind of thing. It's kind of spooky stuff. So if we keep working at guitar, it'll happen. And so the point is to put enough time into it, and I noticed that we will get somewhere in the lesson today, even though it looks like we're not going to get anywhere fast. I've got my notes on my guitar here. My guitar's down tuned the entire guitar. So here would be your E, and if I could grapple the capo on, it's kind of getting a little easier to use it. Either I'm getting stronger, I'm doing it. I think that's what it is. I should get one of those. And so here's your E. So this would be the real deal E. And as you know, the E shape is always kind of in second inversion, so it'd be. And I'm going to do that with my left hand now, so I don't cross over the so your E would be down here. Okay, and then say I'll do a long Ionian. And then it continues on into what's called an S4E. So the Ionian pattern, it will start out with root. Okay, I don't know if I have that up here. I want to make sure that this chart, this little corner chart is legible. And what happens is sometimes I'll make them smaller and then want to make them bigger again, and they'll pixelize, and I have to go get the original one and put it in. So I did do that. So I'm just kind of marveling at my own at the program I'm using, to make these, the computer and everything. That S1, I call that a root. Here it is. You can do all of guitar on just this one pattern here, okay, but you're missing out on a lot if you do it all on this one pattern. Okay, so there should be two pattern stacks before we move the chart around too much. So for that E scale, and then going all the way up 6 strings, we start on this root here. We're going to go root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're finishing off this S3A XL, and here's the A, is the string shape is 5, 6. And this is a double string shape down here, most of a double string shape, let's say, because the long patterns, the extra long, okay, I consider these long. I call them long patterns. I have to keep my mouse hand going here. I kind of like to sit back because I just woke up and got to get the lesson going. So these are long patterns. This 7 root 2, I used to consider it long because if we just look at the root 2, I used to consider that short. Okay, so we got 2 shorts here and a long, 2 longs and 2 shorts there. Now I just consider the entire pattern a short pattern, and the extra long pattern, we consider it affectionately the long pattern. Okay, so with string shapes, if we have double string shapes, now I know what I'm talking about because thank goodness this is today's chart, and I made it early in the wee hours. Because of, you never know, if I have to work for money, which I could do that, I might have to wake up, so I wake up early and let the dog out a little bit and do some quiet work on the computer, looking at so this is all fresh in my mind, so I already have it here. These are the double string shapes, and originally this was just a large part of the pattern. The pattern kind of horizontally doubled, and at any time we can make a fretboard out of this, and you've all seen me do this before. So we can go from 3 to 3 right there, right? And then we can warp over this one here, okay, and we're gonna put that back over. We're gonna warp it over just 1 fret, okay. And now, and I know I have to line these up good, or else when I'm watching the video I'm like, you didn't line it up, you didn't line it up. Oh, there's a little space there. Okay, so negating this now, we're not going to look at that. We're just looking at our fretboard is now here. It's now 6 strings. It's from 3 to 3. And you can always tell that it's a warped fretboard in my diagrams, and of course in any diagram. You're not going to see a whole lot of pattern diagrams. You might see one on the YouTube commercial, and it really took me about 1.5 years to figure that thing out. So kudos to the gentleman who brought us that pattern, and but nobody's going to reinvent the wheel. I mean, we're not going to reinvent the major scale. I had already figured my own patterns out, that they all turned out to be the same thing, right? And my system is that I know of, I don't know of any other system, is the string shapes. I call them string shapes. It was really scale fragments. So starting on 3 the key of C. Okay, it would be, the bottom would be 3, 4, 5 would be a C string shape. 6, 7 root would be a G string shape, and the reason for that is here's 3, 4, 5, or E, F, G. Okay, and when we take, the reason why we have an A string shape is because we make an A chord, but it's still a C chord. Why? Because we started with the real deal A down here, which would be a second inversion A. Okay, so we're using that bottom E. Let's make sure we use that bottom E.